Welcome to today, a quick shave, and we've got a Zenith Silvertip Badger. I believe it's called P10. We have the special edition of the Fatip Piccolo with black and gold. Open comb is what's installed. We have my old Nacet. I think shave is $339 today, and cream shave, Lucky Tiger cream shave as the soap. I found this just kind of sitting around my stuff, and I said, you know what, I hadn't used that in a while, and I like the scent, and as I recall, the performance is pretty good, so that's what we're going to do. And I'm in a bit of a hurry, so I'm just going to keep you recording while we do stuff. Here's my soap cup. I'm going to put my brush down in it. There's my really loud faucet, sorry about that. And while my hands are relatively dry, we will put the blade in place. And here is my Nacet. There's the 3 dots there and the curvature of the blade that happened when I dropped it. So just putting it. I like to hold my hand flat when I do this, my bottom hand. That way if all of a sudden something snags and everything turns, then if I have my fingers curled, I could get cut. So I keep my fingers open and flat. And so now we will just look at the alignment. Yep, it came in just right. Very good. And here's my card. So yeah, we're at $339 today. Tomorrow, $340. Doesn't take too long, and that's why I chose the Silvertip, because it doesn't need to soak for as long as like a finest badger, and definitely not as long as a boar brush. Now with this stuff, you can just squirt it, because it's a liquid. You can just squirt it on the top of your brush and go at face lathering if you're inclined to do that. I'm just going to do a bowl lather, and so probably use twice as much product as I need. I haven't used this enough to know a good amount, but that's what it looks like there. And then since we're a little bit desiring to be speedy today, why don't I just give my brush a couple of shakes, kind of like that, and then we'll leave the brush wetter than I usually do, and so that's going to get my lather going a little. I don't have to, add more water, add as much as I usually do. So let's tilt you down. Oh, and I forgot, see, I'm out of my routine. Let me get my face wet. And there we go. Face is all hydrated now. Soften those whiskers. Now, traditionally, the creams don't often give you as good of a lather as the hard soaps. I have found in many cases that the hard soaps often give me the most enjoyable lather. Then the crops are next, then the creams. There are exceptions. There are, bad crops out there that probably give you just as good of a shave as the best cream, The orange scent is coming up really nice from this. I do have the Tonic that Lucky Tiger is famous for. And look at this. Look how big and awesome this has built up to be pretty quickly. And we'll put another teaspoon in. So it looks like I could have left the brush a little more wet if I wanted to, at least for the amount of cream that I hosed in here. That looks like it's just a lot more than I needed to. Look how it's standing up. You see that peak right there that's standing up with a lot of, rub some of this in. Head start on my cleaning of face. Another teaspoon, since things are so, since that peak was just so rigid. Nice soft Silvertip, nice soft badger brush. This Zenith, I haven't used a Zenith Silvertip for a lot of my shaving journey. I only recently got it maybe a few months ago. Man, look at all this lather. And it's still got a lot of structure to it. So I'm going to keep adding in kind of large doses. So that's 4 teaspoons added. I clearly put in way too much soap. But since we're in a hurry, I may have to shave with a lather that's not perfect, or lather that's not nearly as dialed in as I might normally like. So plentiful, it's just spilling out. Oh, that's really slick. Very nice. Let's just go with that. Okay, get my face wet. Water out of the goatee. Now, when you're in a hurry, a couple things to watch out for. I mean, theoretically, you could just put the lather on and then go at it. Generally, you want a little bit more comfort than that allows. Sometimes that gives you a little bit of a scrapey feeling because the lather hasn't had the opportunity to join up with your skin and protect it as well as it could. I'm going to add a little bit of water to my brush here. Since we're not tracking the water accurately, I can just kind of add it, let some drops drip in from the faucet. And it's probably going to get messy since I'm letting, yeah, see, look at that, this is still, the lather's getting even better. Wow, I really used too much soap. The owner of the Seaforth soaps that have just come out, he's also the owner of Spearhead, contacted me recently, appreciated the videos that I put out, and I mean, I bought that stuff with my own money, and I was very complimentary because that soap base is just terrific. I did sell the heather because the scent didn't really agree with me, but you'll definitely see the spiced again because I really enjoyed it and the performance is terrific. One of the things he said was, I'm sure I'm not the only one to refer to you as the Bob Ross of wet shaving. And yeah, I have had some people mention that, and I'm glad, because that's kind of what I'm. It's kind of one of my values. Except for this faucet, I want to put out a video in general that is just relaxing and casual and friendly, and like you're talking to a friend. And then the reason I'm mentioning his comment is this. He also said, you even on your channel have sometimes happy accidents. And it's true. I'll be trying something out, and all of a sudden, discover something that I just didn't see coming at all. And that's one of Bob Ross's things too. Called them happy accidents. So I thought that was pretty funny. Man, look at all this. This thing is just full of lather. I probably used 3 times as much soap as I needed to. And we'll go ahead and switch to the cross grain now. I'm getting very nice slickness here. Let's see here, what kind of, yeah, it just feels great. It's not as slick as, some of the hard soaps and croaks out there. But, it gets the job done. I used to be so involved in motorcycling that I've had the magazines come into my house, and read the articles, and often they would compare motorcycles. All the cruisers, the cruiser shootout or sport bike shootout. And one of the things that you just kept seeing over and over was that all of those are wonderful bikes, and so pretty much anybody would be happy with just about any one of them. And rinse. Water out of the goatee. But the differences between the bikes were so small. And that's why you could just randomly pick one and be very happy. Now, at the time, back in the 90s, there were some important differences. On the sport bikes, at least, the Hondas were often very well-rounded in terms of their acceleration and braking and things like that. And Kawasaki's often would hit really hard, and so you had to be prepared. They were a little bit less balanced, more sudden, and so sometimes that might lend itself to your own riding style. But in general, they were all, the evaluations and the reviews were making notes of the differences between them, but they were just such minute differences. And that brings me to my point that this cream shave right here maybe not be as good as a Crope. A good one like Stirling. Of course, better ones like Barrister and Man and Declaration Grooming. And it definitely may not be as good as a good hard puck soap like Tabac or Fine Accoutrements, Mitchell's Wool Fat. But just because it may have small differences versus those things doesn't mean it's not providing me with an acceptable, enjoyable shave. You don't have to always have the best, right? I don't guess this would be good for travel since it's a liquid this bottle is, 5 fluid ounces. First, I would say that this is kind of like a cream, that it might be good for travel. But that container may be too heavy for, too large in quantity for airline travel. Maybe it's designed for those days. Maybe it would be handy for those days where you are needing to shave quickly. If you have mixed up your lather a little bit too dry in the bowl, leave a little extra water on your face when you rinse. And that'll help you out a little bit. And I've still got 3 passes left over. And last pass. And the Nacet has been comfortable, and I believe I'm even shaving with a little bit extra growth than usual by maybe 5 hours or something like that. I didn't even bother setting up my water catcher so that I can rinse my fingers and razor in the tub of water that I often have enjoyed using. And I have liked that. It's nice not to have to turn on the faucet all the time. And there we go. Nice smooth feel. This cream just has the lather has some nice slickness to it. There's a slight kind of, oiliness to it. A sudsy oiliness. Feels very nourishing. It does say it has olive, fruit oil, calendula, and chamomile. So it definitely has some skin goodies in there with it. I wonder if folks with sensitive skin might benefit from something like this. The slickness right now that I'm feeling, you can see there's not a lot of product on my face, but the slickness is terrific. I wouldn't have a problem at all, zipping around and doing touch-ups with, this level of soap. Piece of cake, no irritation at all. There we go. All right, clean up. Of course, as a post-shave, why not go with the accompanying toner? And it's got those things we mentioned before. It's also got aloe, as well as the calendula and chamomile. Apply it all fast with just one hand instead of mixing it up. No alcohol, so another thing that might be handy for folks with sensitive skin. And of course, it's got this cool vintage feel to it, And Lucky Tiger does have, if you find one of those beauty outlet stores, a lot of times you can find a couple of the alcohol-based aftershaves by Lucky Tiger. I know there's one called, it's blue, I think, called Aspen or something like that. Someday I might try one of those. Big fan of this Zenith Silvertip Badger brush. It really comfortable on the face, big bloom. And this is it's just a plastic handle, but it works. I definitely could move the knot into something nicer. Really soft tips. I'm a big fan of that. I totally wouldn't mind if that was my only brush. If some kind of disaster happened and that was the only one that I grabbed, really wouldn't mind at all. Cleaning up my gear. And there we go. Today's shave is done. We're at 15 minutes and 45 seconds on the broadcast. Obviously, it took me a few more minutes setting up and in the paused areas to do rinses and things like that. But and so it's not a super fast shave, but that's all right. I stopped to talk a little bit. We'll get back to work, and there we go. I just wanted to get, and I got a nice close cut as well. Very happy with the result. No irritation. Tremendous shave. The blade is still kicking at 339. All right, guys. Nice orange scent, and it's not super strong. Takes care of your skin, and so later on, I'll definitely not have a problem throwing on a little bit of scent through, like a cologne or maybe another splash that I feel like smelling like today. I hope that today, and for me, today's election day. I have a staggered broadcast schedule, so in terms of these videos, publishing them, so by the time you see this, it will be after election day. But get out there and vote. I hope you did for whoever you think would be best for our country. And you take care, guys. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves, and we'll see you next time.